Well, thank you all for being here. I think we're going to get started. And so welcome to our guests. We have a great presentation to share with you all. We have some wonderful people, and I'm going to introduce our group real quick. From the most important side of our mission, we have students Donna, Marley, Myra, Areli, and Montserrat here to share with you. And then for staff, we have Ms. Yeomans is going to share with you about academics. Ms. Coble, our Director of Corporate Work Study, will share with you on the Corporate Work Study program, and then I will be in and out as the MC and sharing a few other parts of our story. So thank you all for being here. And really, our story is really, it begins with understanding where Minnesota is right now and some key indicators. Minnesota right now ranks 48 out of 50 states in high school graduation rate for Black students, African-American and African immigrant students. And we rank 50 out of 50 states for Latina, Latino, or Latinx students across the whole country. And you can really see this. There's a great book called The Color of Law, where it talks about the most effective public policy of the 20th century. It doesn't mean it was the best public policy, it just means it was the most effective, was redlining. And we can still see the effects of redlining today here in the Twin Cities. This is a map of the neighborhoods of Minneapolis and St. Paul. And you can see by this map, the darker the shaded of the neighborhood means the higher percent of adults working. We are in the Phillips neighborhood, the lower yellow starred neighborhood that you can see is less dark shaded. North Minneapolis to the upper left, and then Northeast Minneapolis, where the University of Minnesota is. It makes sense that there aren't a percent of population is not adults working in where the University of Minnesota kind of dominates that neighborhood. On the next slide, you're going to see the percent of neighborhoods of people living in poverty. Again, the darker the shade of the neighborhood, the higher percent the people in that neighborhood are living in poverty. You can see these three areas. You can also see the less shaded areas of Highland area of St. Paul, and then the southwest neighborhoods of Minneapolis. You can see this concentration of wealth and this concentration of poverty. And on the next slide, it also indicates the neighborhoods that have the highest concentration of people of color. And again, you see our neighborhoods. This is the one area where the University of Minnesota is not as shaded like the other two, because the University of Minnesota, while it has a strong population of people of color, it's not as high a concentration as other places. But you can again see the neighborhoods of Minneapolis and St. Paul where they are they're not as diverse. And so our goal as a school is really to bring people together. In our mission, we provide access to college and career preparatory school, or to students who seek a college and preparatory education, so we can unlock their potential. We are here to form our students. Our students are here to be formed and really fashion their skills, strengthen their skills, so they can then share those talents with the rest of the world. And as our graduates always say, we are guided by faith, prepared for life, and serving others. We kind of have three components, three major components to our program. The first is the college prep education. The second is our corporate work study program. And the third is our college counseling and alumni support. 90% of our students, or more than 90% of our students, are the first in their family or first generation of their family to go to college. And at least for the last 4 years, the most we've been tracking, more than half of the graduates are also the first in their family to graduate from high school. So this is a significant mission, and these three components really strengthen this mission. And we have good company. We are both a Jesuit school and part of the Jesuit schools network, which is 84 schools across the North America, including Canada and Miami, which is interestingly a part of the Cuba delegation of the Jesuit Schools Network. And then we have 38 Cristo Rey schools across the country. Again, all of them have the corporate work study program, the college and career preparatory program, and serving families who have not had access to those in the past. And just to share that social equity is at our core. We believe in our students' talents, as do you, otherwise you wouldn't be here. We also believe that these systemic barriers that our students and families face can be overcome through education. In addition, we are helping to build a pipeline of talent into the 20th, into corporations for 20th century, 21st century talent. Our students, as I shared before from demographics, come from largely are from Latinx families and or from Black or African American families. And 100% of our students receive tuition assistance, both in the corporate work study program and through generous donors who contribute to our school. 80% of our students do qualify for the federal free reduced lunch program. That is really where our bailiwick is, where we really look to focus, because we know there are talented students that, despite their economic standing, have talents that can share with the world, and we're here to develop those talents. Next, we're going to have Margie Omens talk a little bit about our school, and so please welcome Ms. Margie Omens.
Hi, I'm Margie. I am the current Dean of Career and College Readiness, and this is my 5th year. I spent most of my time so far here as the 9th grade academic dean. Many of my colleagues have been here much longer. We have a really strong core faculty and staff who are really dedicated to the mission. And I'm going to talk just first about our students. They are amazing. They're hardworking, they're funny, they're curious, they're innovative. They balance both a college prep curriculum and their corporate work study experience, plus many of them work jobs outside of school as well. We are really proud of the fact that our school is not just a college prep school or just a work prepared school, but both, plus our Jesuit mission. There's a phrase in the Jesuit tradition called cura personalis, which basically means cure for the whole purpose, care for the whole person. And really what that's about is relationship building and believing that our curriculum should not just address the little academic selves, but the whole student. And we embed that belief in the strength of relationships and the power of relationships through a lot of what we do. We have a really strong campus ministry program that works with students in retreats, leads the examine every day, develops our students' love and interest and opportunities for service. We have a strong counseling department. We have several academic deans. We have lots of coaches in our network, many different extracurricular opportunities, and really, with that sort of whole person, whole school wraparound approach, we believe that students are not just developing academically at Cristo Rey, they're evolving spiritually, they have social emotional support, and they are treated as the whole people that they are. Along with that, we have a rigorous college prep curriculum. That's a big component of this. So really strong teachers, a really strong coaching teaching program, or sort of system. We have over 10 AP classes, and we've really grown to expand opportunities for students in the summer to advance in their math skills and their math classes. We have students that invest in themselves outside of this building in so many different ways. They have a deep love of their families. They, like I said before, oftentimes work jobs. They have their corporate work study experience, but they are active in many different things in their world of church and club sports, and then also the activities that we offer here. I think one of the things that makes Cristo Rey unique is this idea that rigor is sort of combined with a really strong support system. So our students come from over 40 different middle schools coming into 9th grade, and they come in at a variety of range of skill, right? Some are above grade level, some are right on track, and some are below grade level. And we believe that all of those students can get to the level of college ready with different choices by a really strong college success program, but also academic program. So if you can advance to the next slide. Yep, perfect. I want to talk a little bit about the college success team at Cristo Rey is very unique. We have 2 college counselors. We also have 2 alumni counselors. So our commitment to students is not just 4 years of high school, but also making sure that those students persist and matriculate through the college program of their choice. We have students that go to the military. We have students that go into 2-year degrees. We have students that go into 4-year bachelor's degrees. Our belief is that we armor them with the skills so that they have choice in that field. We're really developing our college and career prep curriculum down to the 9th and 10th grade in these next few years, which we're really proud of. So students start looking at career choices and learning about the college system in 9th grade. And they work with their college counselors, mostly junior and senior year, and then they get passed off to our amazing alumni counselors. We're really fortunate to have 2, only school in the network that has that. And those alumni counselors are working with students to make sure that they are supported once they get to college. Whatever financial things might come up, credits, majors, maybe transferring, but anything that they can do to support the persistence of those students. We really support students beyond, right, just the 4-year experience. On the next slide, you can see a bunch of the schools that our students go to. We have 874 graduates. This is just a sampling of the schools that they decide to enroll in. And we're just really proud that we have 2 times, right? Our students are 2 times likely to graduate from college compared to their same demographic. So that sums up my talk. I'm going to pass it off to Ms. Colbo, who's in charge. She's the director of our corporate work study program.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Margie. I'm Keziah, director of the work study program. It's a privilege to talk with you about our terrific students and their involvement in the work study program. So what is the corporate work study program? The corporate work study program partners with over 111 corporations and nonprofits here in the Twin Cities. And students, while they're enrolled in their 4 years of high school at Cristo Rey, they work 1 day each week, August through June. So they're, as you heard Margie talk about, balancing a really rigorous academic program with also going to work. So if you look down at the bottom of your screen on the left, you see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Each of our grades at Cristo Rey has 1 identified workday that they work. We'll use our juniors as an example. On Monday, our juniors work. So every day, August through June, our juniors deploy to our corporate work study program partners. We'll talk about what students do at work in a moment, but throughout the 4 years that students are at school, their grade cohort and the day that they go to work changes. So as students who are juniors matriculate into becoming a senior, their workday changes and it becomes Tuesday. So every Tuesday, August through June, they go to work. And what you see on the end is Friday. Students, in addition to working 1 day a week, 1 Friday out of every month, they also go to work. So the corporate work study program, students are earning the cost of their education. And what that means is our corporations who partner with us, they pay into the Cristo Rey model. They get terrific talent, which is our students, and they're able to help fund the cost of students to attend Cristo Rey. And Cristo Rey as a private school, we know that in the Twin Cities, private schools often have a pretty steep price tag. And so in order to make a private Jesuit school education feasible for students in our community, our corporations make that possible by paying into our organization. And in return, they get the wonderful, tremendous student work. So what do students do when they are at work? They do anything from working in finance and accounting, working in IT, working with human resources, marketing and communications, any industry that you can think of and dream up, our students are doing it when they deploy to work on their workday. They're there all day, they're meeting with mentors, they have a dedicated supervisor that shepherds their education and career readiness skills while they're at work. And so students are graduating with 4 years of professional work experience at the end of their experience at Cristo Rey. So students are there all day. We provide all of the transportation. We have a team of work study client relations managers that ensures that every student, every supervisor, every company has the scaffolding necessary for students to be able to feel successful, feel like they belong in their community, and also for our corporations to get really, really great high talent workers to support their entry-level administrative tasks. So the benefits for students, they get great exposure to the professional world. They feel empowered to develop their skills and self-awareness and sense of identity, which helps guide their decisions when they graduate from Cristo Rey on what career path they want to travel. They have the tremendous opportunity to partner with mentors and supervisors that can partner with us staff here at Cristo Rey to help guide the decisions that students are making and help students feel a real sense of belonging and feel like the professional world is accessible to them. So we're very grateful for our wonderful corporate partners. The benefit for corporations is that they get incredible talent. We all know that in our world today, we hear this word talent, 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 and we also hear the word shortage, right? The world of work is changing. And so working with the Cristo Rey model as a corporate work study partner, you are gaining access, or corporate partners are gaining access to the talent pipeline. You're able to strengthen your diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging initiatives by developing a diverse talent pipeline early through the partnership with Cristo Rey. The return on investment, it is a significant value add through the student work. So students are doing entry-level skill sets and then developing over the course of the 4 years that they work with the company. It allows for incredible culture development. If you've ever been a mentor, if you've ever taught, if you've ever worked with a student, the incredible work that they help you to do in your learning journey is really special. And supervisors report out through student time cards and through anecdotal feedback that the value that they get is not just in the skills that students bring, but it is also in the sense of reward that they have as a member of the corporate work study program. So I could say so much more about our tremendous students and the value they bring, but you'll have the opportunity to hear from them shortly. Over 111 corporate partners this year. At full employment, we have about 125 jobs. With the pandemic, we saw a sharp decline in the number of jobs that were able to say yes to Cristo Rey. We're very grateful that the corporations that you see on the screen right now were able to say yes to Cristo Rey through the pandemic. They're wonderful, dedicated corporate partners. And to get us back to that 125 corporate partners, which would allow all of our students to have a job, which is the mission of our school, that all students work in a corporate work study program job. We need some support, and we're hopeful that with the tremendous buy-in that we have from these partners and many others, and hopefully more who join our talent pipeline, we're able to meet our mission so that all students have access to a tremendous career opportunity.
Thank you, Keziah. Just in summary, Margie, Keziah, and myself have thrown a lot of things at everybody. In summary, we have 874 graduates in our 11 graduating classes. All of our graduates have been accepted to college. 90% or more than 90% were the first in their family to graduate from high school and go to college. And their persistence through college right now is about 2 times the national average, or it's over 2 times the national average. And my favorite stat is more than 10% of our corporate partners employ at least one graduate upon college graduation. So we are building that pipeline. Our employees are getting a diverse, high achieving talent pool, and then being an industry trailblazer, that our students are our graduates are becoming trailblazers in their companies. You'll learn later this week, or later next week, one of our graduates is being spotlighted because he is the branch manager at BMO Harris Bank, the branch adjacent to our building, where he started when he started in his corporate work study experience here at Cristo Rey. Over the next COVID has really impacted our mission, though. As Keziah said, we do not have the necessary number of jobs to fund our mission. and we have a resilience fund going on right now. You can see through these charts that in last fiscal year, we used about 27% of our budget came from our resilience fund, and we are projecting this year a smaller percent because we've had a lot of companies come back, but we are still funding some of our resilience fund with our funding some of our annual budget with our resilience fund. You can see that in a non-pandemic time, roughly half of the money that we is earned by the students at the corporate jobs that goes completely to the cost of their education. We do fundraise a significant portion, and you can see that our projections for fiscal year 23 are also that we will need to use more from the resilience fund to help fund the operation as companies continue to delay their return to work, especially the businesses downtown. That impacts us in our ability to have our students work at those jobs. But now we're on to the best portion of our time this afternoon, our lunch and learn this afternoon. We have 5 students who are here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to have them give a little introduction, just kind of state their name, where they work, kind of why they chose Cristo Rey, and then we'll go through the group of students, and then there'll be time for you to ask questions. You can either use the little icon at the bottom, the reactions at the bottom, to raise your hand or to clap, or you may just speak, but please be muted unless you are asking a question. Feel free to engage in conversation, but Donna is first on my screen. Why don't you first introduce yourself, please?
All right, so I'm Donna Crespo. I'm a junior at Cristo Rey, and my current CWSP placement is Donaldson. So I work in the HR department, really with like retirement and benefit plans for employees or previous employees. And to answer the question of why I chose Cristo Rey, I chose Cristo Rey. It was really kind of just a long shot. I never had heard of Cristo Rey, but in my middle school, everyone's like, oh my God, Cristo Rey this, Cristo Rey that. And I was like, okay, I'll just apply. And I didn't apply to like any other school other than like a public school that was like in my neighborhood. So I was like, if I get in, then I'll go. Like, I've heard some really good things. I really want to graduate. I want to go to college. Like, it's always been a mission for me as like a first generation student to be able to like make it out of high school and go to college. So I was like, I feel like Cristo Rey would be the right fit for me to be able to accomplish everything I want to do.
Excellent. Thank you, Donna. Myra, you're next to my screen. Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, hi. My name is Myra. I am a junior here at Cristo Rey as well, and I work at Medtronic. I work in the legal area. We usually deal with anything that has to do with like companies or like people like suing with like any medical stuff, and I usually help my supervisor like organize any minute books, which basically has a summary of those legal cases, which I really love reading. They're very interesting. And to answer the question of why I chose Cristo Rey, I chose Cristo Rey because I wanted a challenge. I hadn't heard of it until 8th grade, and I really wanted to challenge myself because I too am a first generation, and I really wanted to go to college and pursue a law career. And I had a feeling that Cristo Rey would really help me with that. Yeah.
Outstanding. Thank you. And Myra right now is positioned in our new Ken Melrose Technology Lab. You can kind of see some of the equipment behind her, but thank you, Myra. Excellent introduction. Marley, you're next to my screen. Would you mind sharing your story?
I'm Marley Christian. I'm currently positioned at Yukon Partners, which I love. It's a mezzanine debt firm, which like most people have no clue what that is. I know I had no clue what that is. And honestly, right now, I'd say I'm an honorary deal team member. So what that means is our company, I guess you could say, we go out and look for different companies that need money. That's like the simple way to put it. They need money. And they come to us and they're like, hey, like, here's I can't really like talk about like specific numbers, but they'll tell you like, this is the amount we have. And like, can you please look into us and consider giving us money? And then what we'll do is we'll discuss it. Like right now, we're discussing a deal that I also cannot talk about. And we're gonna have a sit down on like Monday, maybe, or yeah, I think Monday, and we're just gonna talk like, hey, is this good for the business? Is this good for our brand? And I think those are really cool. I've learned a lot of like different business type terms. Like a cool one I learned was like what a revolver was. And like I went around and asked if Cristo Rey had one, because like I just like got interested in that. So that was pretty cool to me. And to answer the question of why I went to Cristo Rey, I'm not like a first generation like student or anything. It's always been like my mom, like I never talk about this like to anyone, but her parents, like they did crack cocaine, like, and my mom still found a way to pay through high school, and she had like no support. She didn't have any of these supports that I have now. And I mean, she made it to her master's with 6 kids. So like anytime I think about like college and I think, well, like I don't have any kids, my parents aren't doing crack or any drugs, so what excuse do I have not to get to college, not to just get a degree? And I think something I always joke about with my mom, because like she's working on her doctorate currently, I always joke with her that I'm gonna get like a doctorate before her, which like I don't know if that will happen, but you know, we'll see. So yeah, that's me.
Marley, that's awesome that you're in a loving competition with your mom. That is outstanding. Thank you. Well said. And Marley is also an accomplished cellist, just to share. And awesome. Aurelie, you're next on my screen. Do you mind sharing your story?
Yeah, my name is Aurelie Gutierrez, and I'm a junior at Cristo Rey, and my CWSP placement at the moment is Carlson Private Capital, which I've been at for around 2 years since sophomore year. And basically what it is like an investment firm. They like look for like other companies that they see like great potential in, and they invest money into it in hopes that it's gonna like rise and like kind of get their name out as well. So like the benefits from that is like you gain more money in the process, and you're also like seeing like a company grow. And the reason that I chose Cristo Rey was because my brother went to Cristo Rey before me, and he just graduated when I was a freshman, and I saw like his whole like high school experience and everything, and how like he enjoyed being here, and how like all like the teachers and the staff and faculty were like really like, how do I say this, like really like supportive for him, and like believed in him, and that he could do something great if he like put his mind into it. And that was like, I don't think that I could get like that type of experience at any other high school. So that's why I chose Cristo Rey. And also because my mom really liked the school ever since that like my brother applied, and she liked everyone, like all the teachers, and like every single time we come for conferences now, she like all the teachers ask how my older brother's doing, and like it's just like a connection that we'll have like within the family because I came to the school. So that's why I really wanted to come to Cristo Rey.
Outstanding. Thank you, Aurelie. Montserrat, do you want to share your story?
Hello, my name is Montserrat Reyes. I'm a junior here at Cristo Rey. I'm currently at Printware. I have been here for 3 years already, so I've been learning a lot throughout my freshman year, sophomore year, and now my junior year. My company makes printers to print out envelopes and make designs on them. So one of the things I help with is prepare my team for showcases that they have to go promote their printers. And this year, one of the really cool things I was able to start doing is actually running the printers. It has been really fun, and just seeing like how the machine works. I chose Cristo Rey because I have 2 older sisters that have graduated from here already, and 100% of each class gets accepted to college. And one of my dreams has been going to college and just seeing my parents be proud of me. I've seen my sisters and their journey, and I have really enjoyed seeing them grow as a person, and just seeing all the challenges that they have gone through, but making it through it. And I just want to make my parents proud, and I know Cristo Rey will help me do that.
Well said, Montserrat. Thank you very much. Do any of our guests have a question for or want something to share for our students? Yes, Pam, please share. Please ask.
Yeah, just curious. Okay, so you've got each freshman through senior year, students go into a workplace environment there. How do you decide how to match the students up to that? And do they go to the same one all 4 years?
Yeah, Pam, that's a really great question. So when students start at Cristo Rey as freshmen, we provide workforce readiness training, everything from interpersonal communication skills to technology skills. And during that training period, we're assessing their skill level. So we look at the job description that is provided to us by each corporate work study program job and look at how the student is progressing in our workforce training. And we match the student to the job description that has the skill that is necessary to meet the qualifications for the position. So that's the matching process that we follow. To your question about do students stay at their company for all 4 years, many of our students do work at their corporate job for 4 years. Some of our students transition every year to a different job, and some students stay for 2 years and transition and have 2 corporate work study program jobs. So the rationale behind that is we really want students to be able to demonstrate that they can hold a job for a duration of time. So when they graduate from Cristo Rey, we help them with their resume, and what we want them to be able to show is that they're able to be persistent and that they were excellent workers over a period of time. And supervisors provide a lot of input to us, and if they feel like their student is ready to transition to a different job, we honor that request by the supervisor. The other component is when students demonstrate that they have the self-advocacy skills to come and share with us their feedback and their input about the career track that they're interested in. Let's say that student is at the end of their sophomore year and they know that they really are interested in following a finance track, and they've advocated for themselves to proceed with that track. We'll shift them from perhaps a food and beverage company to a track that is more in alignment with their career goals.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Pam?
Yes, it did. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
Are there other questions?
I have another one.
Great, please ask.
Okay, so the students that you have talking today, are they freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, or are they a mixture of all that? They all seem really excited about their current placement. Is that usually the way it goes? I mean, it's the beginning of the year still. Yeah, it's still the beginning of the year.
I'll answer this one. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
all of us are juniors. So like I know all of these people, and it's kind of weird that like you bring that up because I was talking to a lot of the sophomores and freshmen, and they're like kind of like interlocked because a lot of the juniors and seniors, we didn't really get to meet the sophomores and freshmen. So like there's like still kind of a like weird gap currently because people haven't like mixed that much yet, but like it's like getting there. And to answer your question about the jobs, a lot of people do like their jobs. Like I know a couple people who like don't like their jobs, but the people that usually don't like their jobs, like I've talked to many of them and they say, you know, like, wow, I didn't really like that job, but like I did learn a lot there. So it's like, it's one of those like love-hate type relationships. So I think that's like not a majority, but like a lot of people like still learn a lot.
Marley, I'm just going to piggyback off that because you just brought something forward that I think is really important about the work study program. Our goal is that we want students to have a meaningful experience. So for some students, that meaningful experience is putting them on a pathway that is really headed towards a particular career track. For other students, they graduate from high school and they now know what they don't want to do, which is just as valuable as knowing what you do want to do. So I think that was a really astute observation, Marley, that while students might not like the work that they're doing, they're learning what they don't like about their job, which increases their self-awareness and can help propel them towards something that does feel really meaningful for them and in their next phase. Thanks for sharing that, Marley.
Yeah, and something else that's like important to touch on is like Cristo Rey is, I'm pretty sure, like, correct me if I'm wrong, the only school that does this corporate program type thing. So like when I go to like friends that go to other schools like De La Salle, and it's like they tell me like, you know, like I'm unhappy here. And I'm like, I question it because like it doesn't make sense to me, because when I looked at like De La Salle, like they had an orchestra. I'm a cello player. I've played for 9 years. I'm like, I can play anything except for brass and woodwinds. Like I'm pretty good at music. And Cristo Rey didn't have an orchestra. And like the fact that I'm doing okay here, like GPA decent. I have some friends, not like an excessive amount. And the fact that like my other friend, like he has an orchestra because he's also played for 9 years, orchestra there. And he said that he's just having a tough time because a lot of the times those schools are based off, I don't know how to mute my computer. Those schools are based off like the sports athlete players. And I was going to bring that up. That's a really cool thing that like Cristo Rey literally has a requirement of a GPA for you to even like touch on sports, which is like really important because you're not just using your student for like, oh, well, like they're good at basketball, so we'll just let them by. You actually have to learn. And then if you want to do sports, you can also do that. So that's like a bit off topic, but it's also a good thing to like know.
No, those are all good points, Marley. Really appreciate it. Does any other students want to respond to that? To any of those points?
I think to what Marley was saying about whether when some students don't like their job and when some students do, I think Miss Colbo and her entire department, like Miss Denson and Miss Jones and everyone there, does a really good job at making sure that you get moved somewhere else sometimes to get a better work experience to see what you actually like to do. Because I know I expressed to Miss Denson that I was interested at some point in like mechanical engineering. And so she moved me to Donaldson in order to like get that experience. And even though I work in HR, I make sure that I like go over to our plant and make sure that I get to know some engineers and what they do and what the company overall makes and how they, a lot of us say, when are we going to use math in our future? If you want to be an engineer, you're actually going to use it. And I actually saw what they were making and what I'm currently learning in like chemistry class, they do use that in jobs. So I think overall the CWSP team does make changes, and if you don't like where you're at, they do make sure that the student goes to another workplace where they do like what they're doing and is more about what they're interested in.
Really good point, Donna. And I also know that you were doing a great job at your previous job also, which also helped make the move very possible. So just because somebody doesn't prefer a job doesn't mean they're not working hard at it. So thank you, Donna, for that really good point. Unless there's another question, I would throw out there, would you each share maybe, or a couple of you share how your supervisor has built a relationship with you? Donna kind of expressed that she gets to go over to the plant and interview engineers and things, but has your relationship with your supervisor, can you talk a little bit about that relationship and maybe some things that they've done to help you feel welcome or part of the team?
All right, I'll go again. So at my previous job, I actually worked at like an elder care center. And throughout my 2 years, I had two different supervisors. And both of my supervisors were really supportive. Like they helped me gain communication skills, because when I walked into Cristo Rey, I was the most quietest kid you'll find. I'm still not big on like speaking to people I don't know, but I'll make sure that like I speak up for myself. I know I like to, now I'm more on like, yeah, sure, I'll talk to them. And I think my supervisors have really been really supportive at just making sure that they know what I like and make sure that they always have things for me to do, because I've always been a student that likes to get work done as fast as I can, but make sure that it's also like good quality work, because I don't like when I do things and they don't end up as well. So even at Donaldson, in which I started this year, I make sure that my supervisors give me tasks and that I'm able to finish them not only in time or even earlier, but make sure that they are good enough to be able to maybe like send out, or make sure that like things are organized at our workplace.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, I also have like a story. So Miss Denson was my do you call that like your like job manager, CRM, or that's what I know it as. So Miss Denson was my CRM in like freshman year. And you know, I worked in St. Paul and I live nowhere near St. Paul. Like it's a long ways away. And I'd been getting lost because that was like my first time ever having to take the like city bus and like the train. And what Miss Denson did was she came like all the way to my job site and literally like she did like a whole walkthrough with me, just like straight home, like to my door. Her and my mom like had to like chat. And like that was like fun. And the reason I bring this up was when we came like back in the building, I remember talking to Miss Denton and I was like, hey, like, you know, honestly, like I do like working out of school, but like I would like to do something like more engineering based. And I get to my job and it's about like finance stuff. So I'm instantly thinking like, this is nothing like what I wanted. But then as I went more and more days, I learned more and more stuff. And it's like the finance world has like pushed a little bit of the music and then it's like creeping its way like in there. So like now I'm like appreciative that I got to be put there and like see a different perspective versus like my set mindset, like engineering or music, which are two different things. But like, you know, I got to see a different thing that like made me question what I really want to do. Because the worst part about like being in college is like being in college and not knowing what you want to do, just being there, like taking random classes and not actually having a set goal. So I think I really appreciate Ms. Denson for that.
I'll go next. So I work at Medtronic, and the relationship with my supervisor honestly is amazing. Like I started working in sophomore year. I got moved from Robbins Kaplan to Medtronic, and when I heard that I got moved, I was sad because I really enjoyed working at Robbins Kaplan. It was a law firm. Well, it's a law firm, and I was about to start communicating with attorneys and talking to more people about how their life is as a lawyer. However, COVID hit and we had to go virtual, so that wasn't able to happen. And then I got moved to Medtronic, and I had made a little research about it, and I saw that it was a medical tech company, and I was lost. I was like, I thought I was gonna be in like in the legal department, but then I was told that yeah, it is a legal department, and like Marley said, as time passed, I was able to learn more and more from them. And I learned that the legal department actually does a lot of stuff. And since I wasn't able to do like that project at Robbins Kaplan, I can do it here in Medtronic soon. Once I'm done with some projects, I'll be able to meet with some attorneys there at Medtronic and what kind of stuff do they deal with and how do they deal with, and is it like I want to know those kinds of stuff because I want to pursue a law career. And my relationship with my supervisor has been amazing because she has opened these opportunities and possibilities for me. She's very nice and she talks to me about like college because I tell her that I'm very nervous for it, and she's very open about those things. So building a good relationship with your supervisor is very important because if you do, they can open opportunities for you and you get to meet more coworkers and you feel comfortable. I think that should be all.
All right, I'll go next. So I actually had two CWSP placements, and my freshman year I was at Radisson Hotel Group, and my supervisor was amazing. Like, she had guided me through everything, especially being a freshman. I was kind of like lost on what I'm supposed to do. I was like, this is kind of new. I'm not used to like having to have like so much work on just one day, and like meeting a lot of people, and it was like just a lot of anxiety. But like she was really understanding and like coached me through it all, and how like everyone like there was like understanding and everything. And then I moved sophomore year to Carlson Capital, private capital, where like my supervisor is like the same way, even though it's a smaller company, but like everybody like supports me with every single project, and like they're all very understanding, and like they all like are really like interested in like who I am, and not just like as like an intern that is just there, but like they always like talk to me about like how I'm doing and everything. And like I really appreciate that like my supervisor and like my coworkers are like that.
Okay, so I'll go next. So like I said, I've been working at my workplace for the last 3 years, since my freshman year up until today. And I think one of the main things for me is I can't be sitting down and looking into a computer all day long. And I was very open about this with my supervisor, and she listened to me and she applied that to my work days. So she makes me do different tasks throughout the day, and a lot of the times it's on hand things. And I make like sample packets for their printers, and I do that like for an hour or two throughout my day. She's very understanding. I get these tasks assigned that take more than a day to finish. So she understands that, and she gives me the right amount of time to work on it and then move on to something else. And then she's just very nice. She ever since the first day that I met her, she's guided me through like new things. She's understanding like with mistakes that I might make. She's very open, and she makes me feel like it's okay that I did this mistake and that I'm learning about it now. And next time I won't do it. So yeah, just my whole team is very supportive and very nice and sweet.
Thank you all. That's excellent. Are there any other questions from our guests today? Well, great then. Why don't we move to the next portion? Really appreciate all of our students being here and sharing. We're asking you to please match their energy, their commitment, and their determination by investing in our school. There's many ways you can invest in our school to support our students in achieving their dreams. One of the ways is through donating or giving. We have a resilience fund. If there's matching gifts through your employer or Amazon Smiles, that's a way to give. Student jobs, we are still looking for more jobs. If you have a need at your company for highly skilled, diverse candidates that are interested to match the energy at your company, we would love to partner with you. And then we also have volunteering opportunities. We have volunteering opportunities that are regular, meaning meeting weekly with a student to support them in their scholastics, or it might be on a one-off piece. We have scholarship nights or college application nights, FAFSA nights, where students and families need support going through all of the paperwork that it takes. There are other one-off nights where if you have translation services, it can help us with meeting with the students and families in a large scale on student parent teacher nights and those types of things. There are lots of ways to volunteer. There's a medley of ways on our website for you to get involved. And then and there is Jessica Cass put in the chat the link to ways that you can get involved, or you can scan the Scan Me QRF code on with your phone, and then we'll also send you a copy of this presentation to you when this is concluded. But please match our students' energy, commitment, and determination by becoming a partner in our shared mission. We have lots of great students that want to continue to develop their talents to share with the world, and you can be a part of that. So with that, we thank you for joining us and look forward to connecting with you in the next few weeks as we connect to see how we might deepen the relationship. So thank you again to all of the students that spoke. Thank you for the questions from our guests, and thank you to all of our faculty and staff for all that you do for the students and our mission also. Have a great day. I will stay online until everybody leaves. Just if people have questions after, please feel free to stay and ask. But thank you, everybody.
Adios, everyone.
Well done.